Hi, Jody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, so we were discussing, you like this because you like Hollywood stories, being a Hollywood tot and all. But Chris was joking, did I make minimum wage at my late night TV show? And I was like, pretty close. Pretty close.
Under 5K.
Yes, because I was telling the story that I was just a little like radio dweeb, little radio nerd. And so I only stumbled into a big time Hollywood agent because why? Because Lily Tomlin. Because Lily Tomlin called. So I was like a little pocket client. And so I got a Disney pilot and I'd made my own radio deal. I didn't, so
Right.
they didn't, anyway, so they didn't do the radio. Just they made the Disney deal thinking, oh, this is never going to go anywhere, whatever. Radio nerd got a pilot, whatever. And so it literally is famous in Hollywood for historically being the worst deal that anyone ever got for a late night show. I mean, I think it may have been above minimum wage, but barely.
Yeah, you were barely above union minimum.
Right. And then the show went and they were like, what? Oh, right.
Well,
and then then Disney and Clear Channel were going to sue each other because the agent had made 2 first position contracts because they didn't think radio mattered. Remember? Yeah. Radio is held in such high esteem here in Hollywood.
Didn't like a publicist tell your old producer,
yes,
you have to understand how low radio is on the entertainment totem pole.
On the food chain. She said on the entertainment food chain, you have to understand exactly how low radio is.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, thank you.
Thanks. Great.
Yes, I found out the hard way. Yes, they were right. They were like, oh, she got a show. It's actually a show. And then, right, Jody, I think I was on under 5 rules. I had to stay under 5 lines of show, even though it was my show. It was technically,
So there was a lot of miming?
Stephanie Miller.
It was the Stephanie Miller show, but they're like, you're going to need to stay under 5 lines of dialogue because that's all we can pay you.
Well, that's why you had Carlos Alazraqui on your show. That's why you had all of these ancillary players.
The irregular regulars.
You under 5.
We called them the irregular regulars. Hello.
That's funny.
Carlos Alazraqui was one of them. All right.
So all of them had lines that kept you under 5.
There you go.
And then that's how we met Jim Ward, is through Carlos Alazraqui. When he couldn't do the voice work at the old radio station, and that's how we met Jim. And by the way, thank you. I told you, Janice called me crying, saying, "Oh my God, thank you, because of you, I got so many donations." And I said, "No, not because of me. It's because of this audience is amazing, and they love Jim." And everybody, who was this one? Let's see. Hang on. Wait a minute. Where's my? Oh, here we go. Evan said my favorite Jim moment. You guys were talking about everyone having their favorite Jim moment. Once you guys had a call from a troll, from a guy who revealed he had just had brain surgery, and Jim said they must have left a sponge in his head. Chris,
was it Ben Carson?
Chris lost it and couldn't stop laughing for a long time. I was driving and nearly ran off the road. Evan, I hope that Jim has not killed people in the past, because we've gotten so many over the years about I drove off the road listening to Jim say blah, blah, blah.
The sheep bit. I'm sure the sheep bit.
Oh, the sheep bit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, but we thank you. We thank you for your love and generosity, and I know it means the world to him. So anyway, all right. So where was I? Okay. Oh, my first minimum wage job, my own late night television show in syndication. Could never get above that $4 an hour. Jody, we just keep saying these Republicans are making our argument for us. Right?
Yes,
What's his name? Like, I got up to be a cook at $6 an hour. It was amazing. And it's like, right. Guess what that is now? $15 an hour or more. Right?
Yeah. I mean, David Chalkett and I were talking about the minimum wage, and he said, should it be means tested, where it's like, if you live in a state that the cost of living is less than, say, San Francisco, should they get $15 and San Francisco get more? And I said, let's start at 15. And places like San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, more expensive cities and counties and states, they go up higher. But let's have the base floor be $15. $600 a week is not a lot at money. I don't care where you live. That's not a lot of money.
This is what I mean about and I get that, raging, at the wrong people doesn't help. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, we don't have the votes, right? I mean, I know they keep pushing this. Trust me, there's nothing Chris LeBoy and I want more than Kamala Harris in a headdress on roller skates to
I have roller
Xanadu,
skates. She can borrow my
overruling,
roller skates.
and then she has Chris maybe like I don't know, a scepter of some sort. I overrule you,
Baton
parliamentarian.
with fire.
Yeah, a flaming with fire. Yeah.
Yes, I overrule you, parliamentarian.
Jackie Schechter can teach her how to twirl it.
Republicans are ruthless. Yes, that's a good idea. See, liberal helpers. We're just spitballing
We're working
here.
this thing out.
Yep.
What was I saying? Oh, I'm sorry,
I don't know.
I was doing Kamala Harris's fiery scepter. What's my point? Oh, we're not mean like Republicans have in the past fired the parliamentarian. Do you think they would stop for one minute? If the parliament, we would be polite chipmunks. We would be like, oh, thank you for your opinion.
After you. Oh no, you
Thank
first.
you. Thank you for your hard work and your opinion. Now shove it up your ass.
Fair.
We can just ignore it. We could, whatever. Anyway, but I get that they're not going to do that.
No.
You know, I think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, both creatures of the Senate. But anyway, my point is, even in West Virginia, the vast majority of people want the minimum wage, Joe mentioned. So I'm just saying, do it because it's the right thing to do. Yes.
Yeah. It should be done through legislation and not through reconciliation parlor tricks.
Yes, and thank you, Bernie. He's at least he's coming up with an idea. Let's put forward another way to do this. There's got to be a way to do something that is so wildly popular.
Get rid of the filibuster. First off, just get rid of the filibuster. End it. It's not in the Constitution. It's only been around for 100 years, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, David Plouffe said the argument that preserving the filibuster is necessary because it's an important tool in our democracy falls apart when it's clearer with every passing day we won't have a democracy without the Congress passing voting rights legislation.
Exactly.
What do I keep saying, Jody? Keep your eyes on the ball. That is all they're working on. Ari Berman, who you got to, Travis, let's get Ari on. You've got to pay attention to this. There are 250 restrictions on voting introduced in 43 states in just 2 months. This is the biggest assault on voting rights we have seen in decades. We're seeing the weaponization of Trump's big lie all over the country. I keep saying this, Jody. This is all they learned from January 6th is just, we better stop more black people and people in general from voting. Right?
Yeah, they don't have policies, so all they have to do is stop people from voting. If they had policies that people wanted to vote for, they would win.
But nothing else is going to matter if we don't get voting rights done. And it's just, if you read through these restrictions, they're so obvious and ham-handed, right? And as to what they're doing. I mean, some of the you should be making it as easy as possible to vote. That's what happened by accident because it was a pandemic, but people should always be able to vote by mail. It's been in many states for years and years. What? Because it targets, the elderly, minority. I mean, people that are students, there's people that are more likely to, you can't take off work or get childcare or get out of, that they make it difficult for people that are going to tend to vote Democratic. Just make it more difficult to vote. It's so obvious, right? I mean, and that's what I learned from the last election. I'm like, it should always be like this. It should not have to jump through 65 hoops to vote. It should, anyway. All right, I've made myself dizzy now. What did I? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Senator Professor Elizabeth Warren, Jody, backing you up.
I want us to get rid of the filibuster because it is too costly to America. The piece in front of us right now is the minimum wage. But the piece that's coming up is the Voting Rights Act. And the piece after that is immigration reform. And another piece is universal child care. The infrastructure package is very different if the Republicans get a veto at every turn through that process. So if we want to deliver on our promises, we got to be willing to get out there and fight for it. And that starts with getting rid of the filibuster.
Yep.
I just don't you every time, Jody, remember why? I remember why I voted for her. I was Kamala curious for sure. And then she got out so soon. I was, okay. Senator Professor Warren.
The filibuster is something that gives Mitch McConnell a veto.
Thank you.
And that has to stop. We watched him use it during the Obama administration, and he is already using it now during the Biden administration. We weren't elected to come here and be a debating society that gives Mitch McConnell a veto on every single piece of legislation that is needed to help American families.
Thank you. Aren't you tired of that? Why are we still giving Mitch McConnell power in the minority? We're still, she's exactly right. We're still giving him a veto when he doesn't have, I mean, we just don't use power the way Republicans do. Sorry, Jody.
Well, the thing is if Sinema and Manchin in particular want to uphold the filibuster, then let's do Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. You get 8, 10, 12, 15 hours on the floor of the Senate. And then once you're done with your time, then you put it to a floor vote. Because what they do now is they go, I don't want to vote on it. Boom, it's done. That's not that's just stopping legislation. That to me is not what I think the filibuster should be about, which is arguing the minority's point of view and see if it gets a vote.
Sean Comiskey, please cue the filibuster drops starring Jimmy Stewart. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. We have him there somewhere. Thank you.
We need a talkback button.
Oh, that's not on my fancy new box, is it?
No, it's not. We need a talkback button. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Half of official Washington is here to see democracy's finest show, the filibuster. The right to talk your head off. The American privilege of free speech in its most dramatic form.
Aha. Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
I miss a good mid-Atlantic accent like that.
I think some of the mid-Atlantic mooks have that accent, but yes.
I think so.
Sir, I guess I'll just have to speak to the people of my state from right here. And I'll tell you one thing, that wild horses aren't going to drag me off this floor until those people have heard everything I've got to say, even if it takes all winter. Filibuster!
See, this is where you need to learn your crowd noise work, you mooks. That was crowd work, right?
Rutabaga.
Right, there needs to be hubbub when I say something dramatic.
Hubbub.
No, there needs to be more outrage. Okay, we're going to practice again. We're going to rehearse one more time. Okay, I need some good old 50s mid-Atlantic crowd outrage. Okay, ready? We need to abolish the filibuster.
Peas and carrots, 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 peas and carrots.
You're not supposed to be able to hear you say peas and carrots. Oh. Do I have to do everything? We're in Hollywood and we can't find good crowd work. You're not supposed to make Rutabaga audible. Right, you guys shut
Now she's turned on.
Up. Shut them up, all of you. Let Senator Warren talk again.
More and more people will see what Mitch McConnell is trying to do. More people will see it across the nation, and more people will see it in the Senate. I believe we need to get rid of the filibuster now.
You know, it is a whole new world, Sean. I have a whole new box. Maybe that's a whole... Maybe Kristen Sinema will see things differently when she actually meets me.
No.
I will pull her gently and lovingly to the left. Come with me.
No, she won't.
Come with me.
She'll see security tackle you. That's what she'll see.
I don't. Women from Arizona probably not into mermaids, but my point is,
just tell her you have a magic
You never
carpet.
know.
It's a little dry. Maybe she could use a whole new world because it's dry in Arizona. It's a dry hate. And I'm saying, I stole that
That's
joke.
not the only thing that's dry, though.
I stole that joke.
Yeah.
I won't be when I meet Kristen Sinema. It'll be a
Dry
whole
and
new
wet.
flash, and I will lure her to the left, out here to California, to the ocean, to the left,
Mermaids
abolishing
don't have those parts.
the filibuster, to $15 minimum wage. Pardon me, Chris?
Mermaids don't have those parts.
You know, why
there.
Why must you, on every dream I have,
Because
this story's not working.
in this story, I have lady parts in my mermaid hoochie area.
Ow.